Hey guys, welcome back. It is time for another reaction video. Today we'll be checking out 10 plus surprising facts about Denmark. Before we jump into the video, if you could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. Here we go.
The world is huge, and it has many different cultures and people within it. And we here on FTD Facts have had the pleasure to talk about and learn about so many countries, from India to Canada to Sweden. And within learning about those places, we've found so many great stories and accomplishments for those nations and its people. But today on FTD Facts, we are jumping a little bit further into the world and talking about a fascinating country. A country that may not be big in size, but its heart is easily measurable to the rest of the world. And that is the country of Denmark. Yo guys, what's going on? Dave Walpa here, and welcome to FTD Facts, the channel where we talk about different cultures and people from all around the world. And today we are looking at the great country known as Denmark, which is a Nordic country. Now before I get in this video, guys, I want to let you guys know about Grammarly.com. They're one of our sponsors, a restaurant, but then I start within 12th largest country due to population, and all these people are spread across a unique landscape that is approximately 42,931 square kilometers, which means for every square kilometer you go, you'll see approximately 133.4 people. I really hope you don't see 0.4 people, because that would just be disgusting. They'd be cut into like almost half. Now keep in mind, a good portion of Denmark's size of land can't be accurately calculated, and this is due to the fact that because it's in an archipelago, there's so many times that tides come in and wash away islands. And this is because although it is a beautiful place, it is quite flat. It has an average elevation of 34 meters above sea level, which sets Denmark at 4th when it comes to countries with the lowest average elevation.
It's a really pretty beach. I'm not really familiar with the climate in Denmark. Is there a time of year that it's warm enough to enjoy the beaches, or is it generally cold most of the year in Denmark?
Other countries like Maldives, Qatar, and the Netherlands are ahead of it. So you might be wondering, are there a lot of mountains in Denmark? Well, unfortunately not. The highest point is Mullahoy, sitting at 170.85 meters. Now, its height was disputed for quite a long time until they set the record straight in 2005. And the area itself is marked with a millstone, which is the remains of an old mill that used to once sit there until about 1917. And although Denmark is a really cool and interesting country, what is unique about it besides the fact that it's flat and it's got really cool culture? Well, let's talk about its economy, because currently it sits at the 37th largest export economy in the entire world. They export a total of $85.8 billion a year.
Wow.
Now when it comes to imports, it ranks at 34th, having a pretty balanced import-export ratio.
That's a cool little path right here that these bikes are going across all these circles. They could have easily just made a plain, boring bridge that goes straight across, but instead they made that it looks much better. I wonder, okay, so he said 84 billion in exports. What kind of stuff are they exporting from Denmark?
They export a total of $85.8 billion a year. Now when it comes to imports, it ranks at 34th, having a pretty balanced import-export ratio. And its imports equal $85.2 billion, which is just shy its exports. And out of all these exports, 10% are packaged medicaments, which 28% of those medicaments go to the United States. Okay. They also export these to Germany and Sweden, and some of the imports, 4.6%, are cars, and 3.5% being refined petroleum. However, if we're going to talk about Denmark and its import-export,
that only makes up for a very small percentage of the imports and exports. I wonder if he's going to go into detail of the remaining like 80 to 90% of imports and exports.
One that we should mention is pigs. They got a lot of them. As a matter of fact, pig meat equals 3%, with also human and animal blood coming in at 2.8%. I never knew that countries really exported blood. That's kind of a new thing.
When he said human blood, I was like, am I hearing that right? I've never heard of exporting human blood either. That's really interesting
thing for me. And the reason this is mentioned is because in Denmark there are more pigs than there are people. As a matter of fact, they have an estimated 24 to 28 million pigs, which is much more than their like 5 million people. Wow. The reason for all these pigs is because Denmark is the leading exporter of pork in the entire world, and the country is home to about 5,000 pig farms, which maybe in the United States.
Now in that pork export, is it just, you know, processed as regular pork, or is it in the form of like sausages and things like that?
There's more, but as for exporting, they are the ones that actually are the highest. And as for the manure produced from these pigs, they say they could fill up to 90,000 swimming pools of it each year.
Wow.
I don't know if that's Olympic-sized swimming pools, but either way, that's something that I just wouldn't want to go swimming in. Now, one thing that's most important about Denmark is its monarchy. It is considered the oldest continuous monarchy in Europe. It began in 935 with Gorm the Old being considered the real first king of Denmark. However, some historians are like, no, that's not actually true. It's probably actually his son, who's named Son Harvard Bluetooth, who pretty much won all of Denmark, bringing them all together.
His son's name was Harvard Bluetooth?
Who's named Son Harvard Bluetooth, who...
So, I've always wondered where the term Bluetooth came from for the connectivity option for devices. And I've never really heard Bluetooth used in a name before. So now it makes me wonder if the Bluetooth devices have some sort of connection to someone from Denmark. I know that's completely random and has nothing to do with what he's discussing, but I've always wondered where the term Bluetooth came for that connectivity option.
Who pretty much won all of Denmark, bringing them all together. And although there are many different family names that have changed throughout history within the royal monarchy, we should probably mention Margaret I, or as the Danish pronounce it, Margaret I, who was the first female monarch for the country. Now, she was the founder of the Kalmar Union, and her reign was from 1387 to 1412. Now, one thing that was really interesting about her is she had a really interesting policy within the government. And that was that the government would give 500 marks to any woman that was violated or abused during the wars with Denmark and Sweden, and let's not confuse her with Margaret II, who is, part of the monarchy now. Now, earlier when I talked about it being archipelago, Denmark is a country that is not only on a peninsula called Jutland, but it's also a land that is home to...
Look at all that sand. Is this right off the beach, or is this more inland somewhere in a more, I can't really say desert because there's a lot of green in there too. But I don't see any structures, any buildings or anything.
433 named islands. And one thing that I found interesting, out of these 433 islands, about 70 of them are uninhabited. I didn't think there was a lot of that in Northern Europe. And out of all these islands and its peninsula known as Jutland, they have about 13 heritage sites. Now, 8 of them are considered UNESCO or UNESCO zones.
It's another beautiful view. I'm listening to what he's saying, but I'm also distracted by the imagery here.
A lot of that in Northern Europe. And out of all these islands and its peninsula known as Jutland, they have about 13 heritage sites. Now, 8 of them are considered UNESCO or UNESCO zones, and one we should mention is the Yelling Mounds Runic Stones and Church. This was the first UNESCO zone in Denmark, being inscribed in 1994. It is located in the Yelling Yael municipality, and although it might seem like they're just 2 stones, they were erected by Grom the Old for his wife Thera. And many people think of this site as being the beginning of Denmark as a nation. And one thing to add, although these rocks are outside currently, the UNESCO officials came in and surveyed the area and discovered that these rocks were being damaged because of erosion, so they're going to put them in an indoor facility. So there you have it, guys. That is us talking about the great nation of Denmark. If you guys know any facts that we missed, or we perhaps maybe got some of these wrong, let us know down there in the comments below, because we always like to follow up on our videos, and we like to do part 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, because you can't summarize the greatness of a country in just one simple video. But my name is Dave Wapple, guys, and as usual here on FTD Facts, we want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out our other videos, because you'd be surprised.
All right, that was a quick video. I was expecting a little bit more. It said 10 plus facts, but some interesting things there. Like he said, if you are new here, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I will also post the link to this video in my video description, so you can go check out his channel and see more videos from him if you like. And yeah, that's about it. Well, let me say, there wasn't a lot covered in this, so if you think of some other unique facts about Denmark that you think I might not know, or you just want to share, list those below in the comments and let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.